Tonight, live from USA's International Speedway, this is Matt Houston from Raceverse, bringing you another round of the new era of the Classic Tuesday Night Thunder. So here we've got over 22 drivers starting here tonight, and shout out to our title sponsor just coming on board in the last week or so to the series, Carolina Simworks. You saw the trailer for them just a moment ago. They provide custom rigs to anyone that wants one for iRacing mainly. Other sims, of course, might apply. They provide sims, custom builds for some NASCAR drivers, even some IndyCar drivers. Scott McLaughlin, V8 or Supercar champion over in Australia, coming over to drive for Team Penske this year in IndyCars, and he's got a Carolina Simworks rig. So here we are, USA International Speedway. We've got Oyson Walsh on the track. He was really quick in practice, so we're expecting him to take the provisional pole around the track, really low on the apron, or right on the line to the apron there, just right on that yellow line. And I would expect him to go to the top of the board here. And there he goes. And we had Walsh, Curtis there in P2. Not a bad lap there for Curtis. We still have Jason Owens, our admin from the series, running up third position. I don't know, he's doing a second lap. I don't know if our laps are faster on the first lap. I would expect it might be the case of the first lap being the fastest one here. Got a new driver here this week that I don't recall seeing before. Alan Bellacino. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. These drivers that come in the last moment. Always interesting for me to learn the pronunciation really quickly. And of course, as always, give a shout out in the chat for the favorite drivers that you're looking for. Ray Kingsbury is on the track. He will be starting with an end of the line. He took a penalty. And he brushed the wall there, so that will be, won't count. But he took a penalty after last week's race at Iowa. There's another driver. Let me see if I can figure out who it was in my notes. James Curtis will be the other driver. So actually our driver starting would have started in second position will be getting AOL at the beginning of the race here. A tough break for those drivers, but when you commit the crime, some contact out on the track, you know, then you pay for it in the following race. West Shire currently out here. Is he doing another lap? Soska's out here on a lap, and Soska, I believe, is 7th in points. I was having a look at. He jumped up 6 positions last week from 10th position. He's up to 4th in points. And then we have some fans in the chat rooting him on here. So this will be interesting with Curtis getting that EOL, who will actually start in that second position. That should be interesting to see. Christopher Graham Jr. also on the track, setting his qualifying position. We've only got about 20-30 seconds to go here, and then we'll be running through the grid. Soska did not put in a time. I guess he's been successful starting in the back in these races, so I think he's just going to try some more of that here this week. So our race will be 53 minutes, and we're heading to the grid now. Let's go through our grid. So starting in the first spot here, Oyson Walsh in P1, familiar face up front. James Curtis, he'll be getting that end of the line penalty. Alan Balcino in P3, Jason Owens P4, Andrew Barry P5, Simon Fell P6. Chad Irvine in P7. Ray Kingsbury also getting EOL in 8th. Kevin Smalley in P9. Robert Drew P10. Jason Perdue in P11. Christopher Kresge in P12. Christopher Graham, 13th. West Shire, a winner from last week in P14. Followed by Mike Gosler, James Watson, Robert Gamble, J. William Walker. And rounding out our field is going to be Patrick Byrne, Christian Jasper there in P20. Guy Petra and Ken Soska. Had the opportunity to race with Christian last week in the Velocity Online series. That's IndyCar series. Unfortunately, Christian had a unfortunate black flag early in the race and couldn't quite recover from that. It's a tough break for him. We'll have 2 laps under the pace car, and we'll be going green. Hey everybody out there, got a couple of people in chat. Let me know who you're looking for, who you're rooting for. We've got some Curtis fans and Sam. Let's see, who is our Sam out here? So it'll be 2 laps under the pace car. Let's see, Curtis getting moved to the back, so Owens is going to move into that P2 position. I was going to mention they're actually running these cars this week in the official series, and the official race that went on last night had a bunch of caution in it. Literally like 2/3 or 3/4 of the race was caution. So let's hope that these guys do a little bit better here tonight and put on a good show for our Carolina SimWorks sponsors here. Got some interesting camera angles that I'm going to be able to use here tonight. So 3/4 mile track in Florida here. I don't believe it exists anymore, unfortunately, but this was one that was released as the pace car ducks in with iRacing at the beginning of iRacing, really. So Walsh is going to bring us to the green flag. Really tight field here. And we are green for 53 minutes here. The clock is saying 55, but okay. Looks like we have Alan Balchino taking over that P3 or P2 spot, and Owens dropping through the field just a little bit. And we have a caution. Is Curtis... where is Curtis in the points here? This could be important. Curtis is 9th in points, and he is around. So we will get a replay of what happened here, and he's waiting for some cars to go by. Tough break for Curtis, having to wait for other cars to get around him. Just a constant stream of cars. He's gonna have to back it up now. Would be a good time. Is he stalled? Oh, I think he stalled. Tough break. We'll get a replay of it though. Gonna be a little while back on the replay. Okay, so he was on the outside. Kingsbury was there, also starting. That's Soska in the 7-Eleven car. Oh, there was an accident in front, and he just looped it under braking, heavy braking, and unfortunate. Who's the other car there? Let me go back and see what we've got. Oops. Okay. Let me pull up so we can see who we've got. So, was it? No, it wasn't Petra. Yeah, Curtis is getting a tow in the pit, so he's going to be a couple laps down. Looks like it was Patrick Byrne, one of the cars that has pit. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what happened here. Switching who I'm... Okay, the accident already happened at that point. Let's go ahead and just rewind this. So the cool car got around, but who was that other car? That early on... That is the 54. Okay, Robert Gamble. There we go. So really early on, he loses the rear end. Jasper on the outside, the 444 car. He's always in the action here, and he's lucky to make it through this one. Is Jasper on the outside there with a couple other drivers. Didn't really seem like anybody had heavy contact. Just really unfortunate for Curtis there that I think he just stalled the car here. You could see him trying to get it into gear, and then he's actually stuck or something. Oh, okay, and then at that point, what a weird event. And then he had to tow it, so he's coming out of the pits now. He'll be 4 laps down, though, unfortunately. So that was our first caution of the night. So has everybody been shoveling snow for the past day or so out there? Hopefully everybody here has got power, unless you're watching on your phone or something. So Curtis, unlike what it says on the overlay there on the left, he is not out of the race. He's a couple laps down, a few laps down, but he is still running. In fact, I don't even think he really had any damage from that. Lights on the pace car are out, so we will be going to green momentarily. Pace car is going to duck in. There it goes, and Walsh will bring us back here. And Balchino there in second place. He's going to be the one to watch for. Oh, I heard another car going through the field. That was Smalley falling through the field. Oh, we had another car also spinning. These drivers just need to wait a moment to get these tires up to temperature. Otherwise, we're going to have a repeat of some of our earlier races this season. Not last week, though. That one was quite good at Iowa last week. Only had a couple of cautions there. Long green flag runs. So let's see if we can get a replay of Smalley here. Kevin Smalley here, actually a new father this past week. So let's see if we can get this up. But this is not what he'd be looking for here tonight. Oops. My replay is not quite cooperating with me tonight here. So we're gonna go back to green here. This is on the replay. And that number 47 is gonna loop it. Is it him? He's going low on Kresge. And he just goes low, loses the rear end. He backs it into the wall, so that's going to be some repairs there. Luckily, everybody got through. There was another car spinning, though, at some point. It was a Purdue here. Let's get a rewind here and see what happened to him. So he gets around the car and just loses the rear end coming out. So cold tires. Yeah, no snow in California, but other issues, of course. Yeah, here in Indianapolis, so it really hadn't snowed like heavily for several years. When I had bought a snowblower maybe three to 5 years ago, and I really hadn't used it very much, and finally I got to use it today. So Walsh is our leader. Let's see if we can get some green flag running here. If not, we'll be next caution. We'll be doing Carolina Simworks, a commercial for them, our sponsor. Got to pay some bills from time to time. We appreciate them coming on board and getting us in going in this series, helping Jason out. Lights on the pace car are out, so we're going to be going back to green. See if we can get... So quite a few cars did pit that last round of stops. Owens actually is going to be starting near the back, so these drivers got to be a little bit careful on this restart. As we are back to green, let's watch the back of the field a little bit, see if we can see what's happening. Drivers might be a little bit more tender, as I see Kingsbury going low. And our yellow flag is out. Oh, you saw that at the top of the screen. Oh, more cars. That was Jasper going around there. Shire involved with something there. I think Shire involved. Let's see this replay here. Shire, our winner from last week. Let's see what happened to him on this restart. So this is replay. This is on the restart. We've got, I think that Shire's going to get involved with another driver's incident here and just get involved with it. Yep, car spinning up front. Oh, and he just twitches and puts it into the wall, so... Whoa. That was a pretty big pile up here, though. So we will get a look at that. That was Robert Drew involved with this. In that 91 car. Loses the rear end. And the number 11 is that. Chad Irvine involved in that. Tough break for Chad there. And then more cars spinning behind. James Curtis gets through. Okay, back to live pictures of the pace car going around. Let's do a commercial for our Carolina SimWorks here. All right, back to pace car leading the field here. We proved a few weeks back that the pace car can't actually win the race. Oyson Walsh can win the race under the pace car if it comes to it. Might not ever actually have to pit if this keeps going the way it's going. And yeah, we might have to bring in the music if I don't know what the crowd is taking pictures of there with their flash bulbs. But yeah, we might have to bring back the music during caution. We'll see how this goes, though. Lights on the pace car are out. I guess we should probably keep an eye on drivers, you know, way in the back, maybe, when this comes out. Maybe head on up to the blimp up here and see what it looks like. Pace car's about to duck in. Green flag. Yeah, I don't know if I like that blimp view. I think this looks a little bit better. Kingsbury on the inside once again. Kingsbury's got a car that works on the inside line. Kresge's moved up from 12th to 5th, so good slicing through the field there. Soska's moved up to 13th from 22nd. And to the 15th spot, Smalley is the last car on the lead lap. Everybody else beyond that, Jasper there is actually ahead of Smalley, but he's actually a lap behind. So Walsh will be coming up to lap traffic momentarily. Second position has gapped back just about a second already. Andrew Berry's a little bit back from there, about 0.8 of a second. Simon Fell in fourth, about 0.9 of a second. Kingsbury's one slicing through the field, though. He's got Owens, who's got a pretty fast car ahead of him, though. Kingsbury looks through the inside, gets around Owens there for that 9th spot. Kingsbury is our championship leader, actually. And there's the caution. So we'll see. What is this? Not actually seeing any information about a caution. Unless it was Shire coming out of the pits here. That's what it's telling me it is, but I don't know. Other drivers that it could be here. Smalley? Well, we will see. Yep, it was Smalley getting around here. Now, there was pretty heavy contact on the wall there, so really unfortunate. Not the best night here for Kevin Smalley. But he's been up quite a bit this last week with his daughter being born, so might not have been able to practice as much as he would have liked. So I think we should bring in the music here. Our caution flag music for when we have extended cautions. Ballacino's going to maybe come into the pit. Nope, he faked it. Walsh certainly learned a couple weeks back, maybe 3 or 4 weeks back, that if this has enough caution, you don't actually have to stop. Yeah, the music is back. I'd like to see Walsh do his pit and then cut through the field and see how he can do that. That's what I want to see. The next feature of having the music on during the broadcast is for me to leave it on once the racing starts. So I'll try not to do that, but no promises. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight here on the Racers broadcast. Tomorrow we'll be running Schaefer's Turbo and Cup Series, so the night will start at 8 o'clock with a Indy Pro 2000. These are the same cars as these at Road America, and then the Indy cars running Road America at 9:30. A lot of the same drivers from this series run over there as well, like Jason Owens, the admin here. Jason's already up to 8th here after that. He got cycled back to about 16th to 18th, started 4th. So he's good to go on fuel. Lights on the pace car are out, so that's my cue for turning down the music. No collision with the pace car in iRacing, so you can drive through it. Alright, here we go. Green flag. Kingsbury in 9th. So he's going to have to get around Owens once again up here for that 8th spot. Oh, we got Petra. Did you see that? We might want to get a replay of that. It was a really good save there. He lost the rear end, but saved it. Let's go on board and see these hand skills from Petra here. Yeah, look at that, rear end got loose, and he had to catch it a couple times before that worked out for him there. Really good skills there by Petra. Just those cold tires coming up to temperature. He is on the lead lap. Okay, so there. Jasper has made it back to the lead lap as well. He was a lap down earlier. Kingsbury just getting around Watson there. Watson in that Lincoln Racing, the yellow car there. Kingsbury in 6th will now set his sights on Koreski here in the 5th position. Oh, and we've got, that was actually Balacino, our 2nd place driver in the wall there. So let's look at that. Let's see how that was developing here. So this was 81 was Andrew Barry, got around Balacino for that 2nd position. And is Balacino just gonna lose it, trying to get that position back? Not yet. Hasn't happened yet. There he goes. I think he just hit the apron, and that's a classic open wheel style crash there. That took a while to get to that. Okay. Well, that's what happened to Balacino out there. So, are we gonna get a pit stop here? I don't think so. Although there's a possibility that the more we have of these cautions, we're going to maybe get, clean up the field and have a long run. Alright, that was a word from our sponsors, Carolina SimWorks. Check them out if you're in the business of looking for a sim rig. So I think at this restart, we're going to go on board with Kingsbury here because he's the action man in this league, and we'll see what he can do. He's passing a lot of cars, and then he just pit again, so has fresh tires and all the fuel he needs to get to the end of the race, if it would come to that. Lights on the pace car are out now. Andrew Barry in that 2nd position. See what he can do from that position. Simon Fell in 3rd. Balacino is out of the race, it looks like. But yeah, let's go on board with Kingsbury when this thing goes back to green here. About to go back to green, so I'll just go on board with him. And there's our green flag. Kingsbury looks on the outside of James Watson into the 3rd corner, makes that position, and we've got a car spinning And we have contact there. Kingsbury gets around it, and we're back under caution. Good evasion skills by Kingsbury there. So let's see. Oops. Who was in that caution there? I think it was actually our second place driver. Unfortunately, it also is Owens involved with that. So that was our driver that was in second position here. He was on older tires too. He wasn't cold tires. I mean, they might have been cold from the caution laps, but... And just loops it. Owens gets pushed into the grass by Soska, but really nothing Soska could have done there. Let's see if we can look back at that. That grass you can see for Owens is just icy once you hit that. Let me see if I can go looking at that. Let's go on board with Owens here. Tough break for Owens. You can see what's going to happen. He's avoiding it, gets a little light tap, and then just into that barrier. Jasper going through the grass too. More contact for Owens. Yeah, that car does not look like it's steering correctly. So, back to the caution music. Well, if you're typing during the race there, Kresge, you're not going to be in third for very long. So Simon Fell up to second position. He's had a quiet night, but he's moved up from 6th to 2nd through the unfortunate happenings of other drivers. Kingsbury back here, he qualified 8th, but started at the back of the pack after an EOL penalty from the previous race. I had him start there. And we're about halfway through this race, by the way, so luckily these are timed. We've got 11 cars now on the lead lap. Half of our field has gone a lap down or more. Lights on the pace car are out. And we'll have about 26 minutes left in this race. I'm going to go on board with Kingsbury again for this restart. I think Kingsbury can get back up to probably second. He looks inside of Gamble already, makes up a position, slides up the track just a little bit. Graham is ahead in the 4th position. Kingsbury has great runs off of the corners here and takes over the 4th position from Graham. Sets a sight on Kresge in 3rd. We just watched this show here from Kingsbury. And yeah, the cameras there are pretty wild on the from the crowd there. And we should probably have a look outside the car. Kingsbury's about a second back from Kresge up there. Kresge's working on Fell up here for that P2 spot. Meanwhile, Walsh is just checking out. He's about 2 seconds ahead after that restart already. Petra, he had some spin earlier, but he's kept it alive, and he's in 9th. Robert Gamble working on Christopher Graham here now as well. Kingsbury has actually dropped a little bit back from Kresge up there in P3. Alright, so the Kingsbury did gap some there. He's getting closer to Kresge now because they're running into some traffic. That is Owens up there. Gamble trying to make it around Graham here for that 5th position. Not sure what battle to look at here between Kingsbury and Gamble. Gamble looks like he's got the run, but can't quite make it work. This is back to Kresge, 0.6 of a second back, or back to Kingsbury, 0.6 back from Kresge. Simon Fell in P2 has dropped 4.5 seconds from Walsh in P1. Kingsbury's right 0.3 back. He's gained a second in the last maybe 5 laps on Kresge here. Noticing Walsh there in P1 is actually setting laps that are faster than quite a few drivers in the field when they were in qualifying trim. Gamble's got a good run on Christopher Graham, but can't quite make it work. That is for the 5th position. Just thinking outside. Kingsbury and Kresge and Fell are dealing with some lap traffic here. Some sparks thrown off from the walls. Jasper goes high, he's a lap car, and Kresge is around. And the yellow flag is out. There was a slight impact of Kresge on the inside wall there. Get a replay of that. That was good green flag run there. So Kresge tries to come out of the corner on the low side. He was getting underneath Simon Fell there for that P2 spot, and just probably had the wheel yanked a little bit too much to the to the left for where he was, and because he probably wasn't doing that in the rest of the corners, and that just causes the rear end to come around. Not the end of the world, though. It looks like his car is okay, other than needing that new front wing. 20 minutes to go. Will Walsh come in to pit? They finally did have a long green flag run. I don't think he is, though. So Walsh has been on his tires. We've driven 67 laps here. Same tires. If this had gone fully green, we would have been doing almost 190 laps, but you know, that's not going to happen. Everybody is pitting other than Graham has not pit, neither has Fell or Walsh, so they've kind of committed to their game here. Kingsbury pitted quite a bit earlier, but 28 laps ago. Soska in 8th, just got some fresh tires. Only 9 cars on the lead lap, so this includes Jasper on the lead lap here. Kresge has got his new front wing. He did go a lap down though, unfortunately. But I think we get some laps back here. I think that we've got Lucky Dog or something here. Do a quick commercial for our sponsors, Carolina SimWorks. And we are back as Kingsbury goes inside of Fell after that restart, takes over the P2 spot. He's going to set his sights on Walsh, but I think ultimately Walsh has the best car out here, although Walsh does have older tires than Kingsbury. So we'll see how this works. Kingsbury is currently 0.8 of a second back, but I think that Walsh and that clean air is just going to drive away from him. This battle with Graham continues. Gamble got around him. Watson in P6. So Jasper, I think, is slightly damaged because he's running a little bit slower than just about everybody else out here. So he'll be one of the first cars to get lapped. Kresge is back in 11th position now. We got a slow car there. That is the 54. The 54 or 64? 64 of Purdue. Yeah, so Walsh is already 2.5 seconds ahead, so that race is gone. Gamble is in the P4 spot. He is closing in on Simon Fell. Then we've got Petra getting close to Watson up here. Let's go on board with Petra here. So we'll see if Walsh, not having pitted, can make it to the end of this race. I think he probably can, but you know, he'll know better than I do. They were usually about a half hour. If the race went fully green for a half hour, they needed to stop at about a half hour into the race. Petra looking like he had a good run there. Got a lapped car coming up. Is that... Okay, that's the first one. That was Graham up there in the white car, 2 cars ahead. sliding back a little bit. Gamble got around him earlier. Gamble's working on Owens, who's a few laps down. Owens wisely gets out of the way. Lets the lead lap cars go around. As we've got some action back here from P5 to P7 there. That is Graham Watson in the yellow car. Watson's gonna look inside. Gonna make that move work. And Guy Petra is gonna make it go through as well. And now they're also gonna come up on Owens. So in a lap, Graham, who hasn't pit this race, so hasn't had fresh tires, heads back a couple positions as they get around Owens here. That is pretty much our closest battle on the track, is this between Petra and Watson. Watson's checking out a little bit now from Petra though. Jasper's 9 seconds behind Soska, so that's he's gone a lap down, and we only have 8 cars on lead lap. As there's quite a gaggle of cars. Those cars were all on different laps back here, so not even fighting for position here. Just getting around slower cars that are several laps. They're on different laps than where they're actually at. Tough break here for Shire, running in 16th, winner from last week, involved in those early accidents. Heading back up to the front. Oh, that looked like almost some contact between Walsh and one of the lap cars. Meanwhile, and that for the 5th position, Petra is just keeping up on, and we actually have yellow. Okay, so we'll see what's up with that. It is Soska up into the wall here. Let's see what happened here. Did he get any help? That would have been from Irvine there. A little help from Irvine. Not even on the same lap. That was Irvine is 12 laps down to Soska was only 1 lap down at the moment of that crash. So that's a tough one. Soska just let the leader go around. Irvine looked to take advantage. I would assume that will come under scrutiny from the stewards for the next race. So we're heading just under 11 minutes to go in this race. There was Jasper getting his lap back, lucky dog. Yeah, that was a tough break for Ken, though. No fault of his own. I mean, maybe he could have left a little bit more room, but you don't expect a car that is 12 laps or 10 or 11 laps behind you to send it up the inside. Yeah, that's not something you usually account for. Ken here is going to have to pit for a new front wing. Overall, that car looks pretty good considering the contact. He'll be a couple laps down. We should be able to secure that spot though and stick into the top 11 in the race. I don't think he'll be a lap ahead of Curtis, who's in P12. Oh, we were at a really big traffic jam. Did you guys see that? I don't know what that was about. Let me look at this here. I'm gonna have a look at this. I think that the leader. Okay. The leader slowed up. Maybe they had a phone call or something. And interesting checkup here. Yeah, that was interesting. I would have loved to have been hearing the voice chat at that moment. So hopefully we're about a little bit more than 8 minutes left here to go. Next week we'll be heading to New Hampshire, Loudon Raceway, the mile course. Is that the biggest track that we've been to? Or have we? Let me look at the schedule here and refresh myself on what tracks we've already done in this series. But I think that will be the longest track that we've done. We did Iowa, so that's like a 7/8 mile course. We'll be doing, yeah, New Hampshire. Okay, we've got our green flag coming here. Yeah, we had Phoenix, so that was a mile course. Started out with Phoenix. So green flag. Time to go for Kingsbury. I don't know if he can do it though, since Walsh gapped out that 4 seconds. But again, Walsh has been out here. He's on 95 lap old tires. Of course, about half of that is probably under caution. Fell's still running in that strong third position here, and he hasn't stopped at all either, so track position is key in this one. Other driver that hasn't stopped is Christopher Graham in the P7 spot, and he's looking inside of Petra. Doesn't look like he's going to make that work though. Closest battle on the track between Graham and Petra. Petra's running a little bit higher line through the corners. Oh, and Graham brushes the wall. You saw the sparks on the camera there. He drops back just slightly after that light wall brush. And they're coming up on some lapped cars. And we actually have a caution. That is Soska. So that car, after that first wall contact that we saw, probably has generally just some problems with it. So again, tough break for Ken. He was again, he was in 7th in points, so let's get a replay here. He was letting the leader go and crashes right in the front of the leader, sending up some of those steel sparks that we saw. He smartly holds his brake. Can't say that about a lot of drivers, that they'll hold their brake and not slide down the track in front of other cars. Heads back to the pit lane. We've got just over 5 minutes here. Let's see if we can get this to the end of the race. Again, in terms of drive of the race, it's got a, obviously Walsh He started first and ran this whole race up to first, but Kingsbury started at the back and made his way up to second. He's every week just about, he's Mr. Excitement out here. As is that Kresge getting a lap back? That was Kresge getting his lead back on the lead lap here. Jasper better watch out because Kresge appears to be faster. Jasper's got some mechanical issues after that wall contact that he had. Let's see if lights go out on the pace car. We've had a lot of opportunities to show Carolina SimWorks that trailer for them. But yeah, visit carolinasimworks.com if you're interested in a custom racing build. They say that they've got some NASCAR drivers that use it for training, and of course you can use the sim rig for fun as well. That's what everybody here is doing it for, I would have to say. Lights still on the pace car. So this camera, let me see here. This is the spectator camera. Not every track has a spectator camera, but this one kind of gives you the view of what the track could look like as a spectator out here. Not that you can go to many races these days, although it's coming back. The lights should be going off on the pace car here, I'd imagine. And they do, and we'll restart with just over 2 minutes to go in this race, it appears. And there we go. Check out the spectator camera, as I was mentioning before. I think that the battle here is going to be Graham tries to send it underneath Petra, and that does not work. And we're going to probably finish this one under caution because of that one. One of our fellow broadcasters there in that particular car. Let's get a replay of that. So he was trying to look for a move on Petra, and as we've seen over and over tonight, on the cold tires and that low line, car just does not quite stick. I think we're gonna have Walsh win this one. Well, I guess that gives us an opportunity to let the Carolina SimWorks speak for itself right here. Alright, we've got about 20 seconds left in this one. We'll see when we get the checkered, or get the white flag and the checker flag, but this should be the end of it here. Just a yellow flag. I don't know if it actually changes to a white flag for these guys. Okay, this is final lap. Was that the checkered? Or is this the white flag? I think this is the white flag. There we go. So Walsh is going to win this one. Kingsbury, our championship points leader. In second, Simon Fell. Let's see, where is Fell here? I don't think we've got to talk to him this... He's 11th in points. So we'll get to talk to these guys, if they want to talk to us anyway. After this, a bit of a grueling race here. And here we are finishing it up. And that's that. Let's go through our results as they're coming across the line here. Walsh wins the race. Extends will take over the championship lead. Kingsbury in P2, Simon Fell, Robert Gamble, James Watson, Guy Petra, Christian Jasper, Christopher Kresge, Christopher Graham, Jason Perdue, James Curtis, Jason Owens, Kevin Smalley, West Shire, Chad Irvine, MP15. Oops, we got the grid on there. Ken Soska on P16, Mike Gosler, Andrew Barry, Patrick Byrne. We've got cars driving around the track. Alan Balacino started second or third. Tough break, Robert Drew and J. William Walker. So we'll be right back and get some interviews. If anybody decides. Okay, well, we're back. We don't have anybody to interview at the moment. I'm not sure what's up with that. See, here's some drivers doing a destruction derby or something like that out here. All right. Guess that's all you can do at kind of the end like this. So that's what we've got here. Maybe no interview, but we've got that. Okay, we got Walsh here. So let me go on over to Walsh here. We'll get an interview with our winner here. Hey, Oysen, this is Matt up here in the booth. Got a copy?
Hello.
So tell us about your race. You win another one here. Last week didn't quite work out for you, though, with fuel strategy, but tonight you did the no-stopper once again.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that Iowa was going to happen again. That's kind of just going to happen on these oval races with them being timed. You can't really predict it.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I think when Ray pit, he was probably the closest to getting me. But even when he pit, if we suddenly went green to the end, he still wouldn't have made it. So I didn't want to do that. So there's not really any guaranteed way to do it. So like North Wilkesboro, I just said, right, I'll stay out and clutch it under every caution, turn the engine off, almost stalled the car completely a couple times.
Yeah, we saw that.
it was fine. Got it to the end, and then, yeah, after the second last caution, I knew I could make it. I had to save like 0.02 gallons, so that was easy. And then from then I knew I could have it. Although I did think I was actually the quickest. There was one run where I was pretty confident if it went green to the end, I could have lapped everyone, or at least gotten close to it. I don't know if I could have lapped Ray on pace, but he was stuck back in traffic, so there was a chance I could have gotten in there and, lapped him because he was stuck behind me.
There was a restart, and then it didn't take long, and you were almost 4.5 or 5 seconds ahead of the second place car. So, just another dominating performance. Next week we're heading. Where are we going? Is it New Hampshire? I think it's New Hampshire.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one's an interesting track. You almost have to drive the middle line or even the high line around that track. I don't know. In the Indy car, that's how you have to drive it. I don't know in these cars if it's the same. Is that your thought about it too?
You run a line lower than in the Indy car, so you run second lane from the bottom.
Okay.
Whereas in the Indy car, you're third lane. And when we raced there in official, I thought it was going to be great because it was going to be multi-groove and you could run the third lane and the second lane. You can't. You can only run the second lane.
Interesting. Well,
and I think here it's probably one of my more confident tracks in this car in terms of driving because I did quite a lot of it when the USF 2000 was here. So I don't know. I'm kind of used to turning the car with the brake instead of just turning the wheel and hoping the right front doesn't get plowed off. So I think New Hampshire, I was okay in the officials when we went there. It wasn't the best. It was pretty much tied between me and Joshua Chin. So I think
he's good. Yeah.
I should be good, but that certainly isn't my best track. But I should be able to figure it out.
You seem like you got the setups figured out here in the series, and unless unfortunate cautions or something gets in your way, it seems like you've got it covered. Other than Ray, really, he's got he's right on your tail. I think he was coming into this race, he was leading the championship, but I think we have drop weeks, so I don't know if that was entirely accurate.
I think without drop weeks, I missed a week, but I'm still right behind him, so I'm happy with that. I might have just overtaken him.
Okay, yeah, I suspect you probably did. Anyway, good race out there, and we'll see you next week at New Hampshire. And I actually heard from somebody else that you were in they said, hey, you know that guy from Tuesday Night Thunder? I saw him in a truck fixed race, and they said that you kind of dominated it.
I am big on the NASCAR road stuff. I'm on a Coke Series team. I'm on Nexus Esports. Okay. So when it comes to the road courses in those cars, that is where I am at home. So I'm usually building setups for those. And then on ovals, this is really the only car I have figured out in an oval in terms of setups.
Really?
I'm starting to learn the truck and the cup car and all that, but compared to my teammates, I have nothing on the setups in those cars.
All right, well, that was just a little addition to what we had here tonight. But yeah, we'll see you next week, and you have a good week till then.
All right, see you too.
Thanks. All right, well, that's all we got for interviewing tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. That was a good interview there with Walsh, and we'll be back here next week, same time, same place for New Hampshire. Based on the feedback there, that will be an interesting race, kind of one groove race. From what Oysen was saying there. So should be interesting, but I hope you guys have a good night. I'll show the top 15 results once again. We already read through it earlier. Take care of yourself. Stay warm out there. Hope you have power. Keep power if you're in Texas. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the Schaefer's Turbo Series and Cup for PM-18s at Road America and IndyCar at Road America.